Hi, it's John Dalziel here again with the latest vidcast. We'll get straight on. It's the latest 7 finds as usual. On my blog, the addresses are always at the top of the page. There are 2 video clips that you might want to take a look at, and one of the reasons I've still got a smile on my face from taking these 2 videos on Sunday when we were doing our usual Sunday walk. Going to start today with a find that is appropriate for those who are doing courses that involve business and or office work. The HSE, the Health and Safety Executive, have brought out, let's just go to their website, have brought out a 20-minute risk assessment for low risk officers tool. If you go to the address at the top of the page, there's an article there that the Health and Safety Executive have published which tells you all about it, and links of course to the various parts. If you actually only want to do an assessment, the tool is available at the address at the top of the page now. And when you click on the Begin Office Risk Assessment, there are a number of choices. Just wait for it to load. There are ones that will allow you to return and to have reminders about when you should be revisiting your risk assessment of an office, and right the way down to complete a risk assessment once only, which is a one-off, where you don't actually have to register on the site. But you can read more in the blog if you're interested. As I say, it's something that perhaps those of you engaged with work-based learning and your learners are going into an office, it's a quick way to do an assessment on their working environment. Came across this website through one of the many RSS feeds that I look at on a daily basis. It's called Personnel Today, Human Resources News, Strategy and Community, and there are 2 things here. One is about the Equality Act 2010. The codes of practice have been laid before Parliament, and if you go on to their website, as it says at the beginning, codes of practice on employment and equal pay under the Equality Act 2010, designed to clearly explain both the obligations for employers and the rights of individuals, have been laid before Parliament. You can read the full article and follow the links with the address that's been at the above. The second article which I've included, which may be of interest to you, is about the removal of what is referred to as the DRA, which is the default retirement age. And basically employers are warned not to force older staff out through performance management after the DRA has been scrapped. And again, you can read the full article by following the link that's been at the top of the page. Okay, my science background comes through again here. Basically a simple question, you might think: how do you calculate 1 year has passed on Earth? Simple answer: no, it isn't. The main problem here is that the planet Earth does not return to its starting point once it's gone all of the way around the sun. So how do you know when a year actually ends? The video clip itself, and I'll play the start for you.
A year on Earth is measured by 1 complete trip around the sun. Seems simple enough, but there is a problem. The Earth doesn't travel in a path around the sun that returns to its starting point.
My point exactly. And you may want to actually have a look at that video clip to get it clear in your own mind. Next, unusually I suppose, is an online resource from Russia. It's called ontext Instant Publishing Platform, and there's quite a bit in the blog about how it can be used, etc. I'll just go to the website. Let me just go. and immediately some of you will panic because it is in Russian. If I click on the EN button at the side, it all becomes hopefully a little bit clearer, in as much as it's translated into English. Now sadly, not all of the tabs have been translated into English, and you may want to use Google Translate to copy and paste the text in so you know what on earth it's about. But it's fairly simple. You type in the header for the text that you want to share and communicate with others, whether it's colleagues, learners, friends, family, whatever. Having put the header in, you put in the text, and this only deals with plain text, but it means that if you're communicating currently through Twitter and the like, you're not restricted by the number of characters that you can use. Having done that, there is the usual human test to check that you are human and not a bot, so you need to enter the code, and then you can click in here and put in a password which you would share with the people that you want to communicate with. If it's a particular learning group, you would perhaps give them that right at the beginning of your course. When you click Get Link, it basically provides you with a URL, which again you'd have to share with the people that you're communicating with, and that URL, when they go to it, they will have to type in a password before they can access the text. I think it's got quite a bit of potential. I've had a play with it. I actually translated one of the pages into English and posted that, but it's well worth having a look at. Right, the next is a bit of news from FE News, and it asks the question, how can expenditure on new technology be justified in the current financial climate? I suppose that it's all about return on investment. If you are actually going to spend money on new technology and it's going to save you a lot of money, then obviously it's worthwhile. But it's an interesting article and well worth you going and having a look at in more detail. Okay, I had a question since the last vidcast, and the question was, I'm tired of pasting text into Word only to find that the pasted text includes colours, formatting, links and much more from the original source. How can I paste without then having to apply my formatting? And very simply, I want to keep the pasted text from messing up my documents. Well, on my blog, with the address above again, it goes through step by step a number of different solutions. There's never one size fits all, and one of those solutions being to set the defaults or to change the defaults. Okay, so you may want to have a look at that if you would like to actually be able to copy and paste from documents and or from the website without having to keep changing the formatting. Right, last but not least, ShutterCal. Now, for those of you involved in media or delivering photography courses and the like, this in its own right is worth a look. It basically, let's just go to ShutterCal, basically is what it says here. It's free, it's a calendar-based photography project where anybody who's using it can actually document their life and improve photography skills at the same time. Basically, what you do is you get a calendar. Let's just go to mine and then you'll see what I mean. I've got to restart my computer obviously. You get a calendar and all you need to do is to click on any one of those dates on the calendar, and then you have got the opportunity to upload a picture that you've taken during that day and to write something about it. If you actually click on one of those pictures, you get a slideshow. Just wait for it to open. Here we go. We've got the slideshow here and what I've written about it at the bottom. Autumn displays its fungi. I love the autumnal aroma, damp leaves, fungi, etc. Probably my favourite time of the year. That's what I wrote about this particular picture. But you then got a slideshow that you can go through and look at the pictures. So I started this on Saturday, that was Sunday's that you've just seen, and that's this morning's with the frost. And my comment this morning was, cool start, what could be nicer than a frosty morning plus all of the colours and smells of autumn. And I've put fall in brackets because my son and his wife live out in America, and she won't know, actually she will. I was going to say she won't know what autumn is, but she does. Okay, now that's one thing. The other thing is that if you ignore the photography side of it and you actually look at the functional skills, it's an ideal way for learning providers to do a sort of adult show and tell. The learners who are doing functional skills or key skills, or who are having problems with reading and writing and or communicating through the written word, they could upload a picture every day and write a few sentences about it. So it's a good way to practice reading and writing. They can also communicate with real people by basically looking for pictures that they like, making a comment on it or asking a question about it, and waiting for the feedback from it. Now, I know some of you immediately are going to say, whoa, hang on a minute, what about all of those people that they shouldn't be communicating with? Okay, it raises safeguarding. It's an ideal way for the learning provider to address safeguarding and social sites like this and the problems and the dangers. It also means that initially you may actually want the practitioner to publish images that they make comments on and ask questions on, and of course the practitioner would reply to them. The practitioner could, as I've suggested in my blog, they could actually put up an image, a bit of text about it, and ask a question. So when the learners go on, they will see the image, they can read it, and then they can answer the question in the comments section. There are full instructions on there. What I'm going to do is to just click over to my website, address at the top of the page, just to show you that in fact, if I just scroll down, you can embed two types of widget. This one actually changes as you add a new picture, so it will change. So it could be used for publicity, for raising awareness, for lots of different ways by a learning provider, not just in teaching and learning, but actually to communicate with people who visit the websites. That's all for today. I hope there's something there that you will find useful. I personally like the ShutterCal, and I'm going to try and keep mine running. Look forward to talking to you again soon. That's all for now.